Good afternoon. It's afternoon now, I think. Yeah, it's afternoon now. And I hope you have been enjoying the class so far. And this session is not, that is from today to Saturday, and the other two sessions we are coming to. It's not just come and talk. It is practical. And like I said, I'm not here to teach, but rather I'm here to just provoke your thought on some things as a follow-up to what Dr. Joshua has done. And in this few slides, I'm going to talk about the current situation we found ourselves globally, and in particular in our country. I'll start with this ugly story. The ugly story was one of my good friends, he's late now. Some of us will know him, Mr. Simon Peter Mohammed, the former General Secretary of Bible Society of Uganda. His first time in Nigeria was in 2012. He came to Abuja for Anglo-Sec meeting. I happened to organize that meeting, as in coordinating it, bringing all the CEOs and Anglican, Anglo-Sec. Anglo-Sec means English-speaking Bible societies. And when the man landed in Nigeria, in Abuja, he had a very bad experience. And what was the experience? The man was sharing that testimony till he died. He came out of the airplane and was among the first passengers that disembarked from the aeroplane. And he got to immigration point. And when he got to immigration point, he surrendered his passport for them to stamp him in. And the man looked at him and said, "Oga, there is a page missing on your passport." The man was taken aback. Because I'm going to talk about restoration. Can we get back to the part of restoration? So they were asking you, a page is missing on your passport. And the man said, page missing. So the man was confused. So they asked him to step aside. So he steps aside. And as others were coming, when they opened the passport, it's either there is a dollar note or some naira note inside the passport. So as the immigration man sees the dollar inside the passport, bam, bam, you go. So the man now says, okay, the page missing on my passport is because there is no dollar or naira lining the pages of the passport. See, the man, anytime he says, somewhere, Nigeria, a page of your passport is missing. You can imagine that testimony. So we're talking about authentic leaders, Christian leaders. Learn from that testimony. Recently, I visited another country for the first time in Singapore, and our man that we met there was telling a similar story. That when he came to Nigeria for the first time, and he got there, somebody was asking him, "What did you bring? What did you bring for us?" I didn't bring anything. See, okay. He said that one left. Now he now got some people who are even wearing uniform. And they asked, "Okay, what did you bring for us?" I didn't bring. Professor Kunuji was something before about Your Excellency, Your Honorable. These people that we call Excellency and Honorables, they readily deserve the name. Question 3, how can we raise authentic leaders for our nation? That's why we're here. And the last question to you and myself is, are you an authentic leader? So these are some of the things we'll quickly try to rush through in the course of this, my short paper here. Now, this is the topic I'm looking at in session 2 of this module, the road to restoration to biblical leadership. Now, the two stories I've given you, I encapsulated my introduction that over the past 2 decades, or over the past decades, corporate corruption, unethical behavior have risen steadily, almost in all spheres of our corporate and national lives. Christian organizations are not left out or left behind in these scandals. Now, I will show you another one Authentic leadership. Yes, I was showing this to my colleagues. See these Bibles in my hand. So to tell you that it's not only in politics. So I know we are going to solve the problem, I don't know, but we'll give the answer ourselves. These are two Bibles published last month, or dedicated last month. I was in this one when they invited me. It is not done by BSS, so I not say I'm trying. I can promote BSS, but let's still promote our other colleagues. So I was checking through. I saw that this Bible has about 1,500 pages. With some colored, these colored ones are there, both in interspersed, you see some colorful things there, produced by a reputable company. Now, within the same month, the two of them were said to be produced in 2020, but they are being launched this year. And this one, about 1,250 pages. But which one is bigger? So which one should have been bigger? So what's the problem? Now, if you open this one, you want to go with Bible. If you open this one, I was showing Grace and Ogayemi when I got it. See Bible. If you need to see better, I have to cut this one open. Now you will pass it around as I talk. And if you are into publishing like me, what would be your thinking about people who are even producing? So that means the corruption we talk about, the terrible leadership, pardon my word, that we are talking about, it's not just in politics. We can easily blame politicians and all that. But these politicians, where did they come out from? From among us. That's what the Bible says. From among us. And before they got to the vision of some people, they won't behave anyway or behave in a particular way when they don't have the authority and power. But when the power is given to them, they'll now show, yes, this is the real person I am. But when they don't have the authority or the privilege, we'll talk the same way. But they come out from among us, but they are never one of us. So this is what is happening even in Bible production industry. That people just is about the money, not about the quality, not about what the people get. So let it spoil tomorrow and come and buy another one. So you can pass it around and begin to check while I continue with my short presentation. Now, so that is the issue. Now, according to this author, we see that this has caused organizations to be scrutinized. Now, today in Nigeria, we complain that government is putting their eyes into the church affairs. They want you to be paying tax now. They want you to do this one. In fact, recently, sometime last year, there is another thing government is trying to bring up to regulate NGOs, the formation of NGOs and how they run their affairs. So many NGOs, Yemi and Samuel NGO, Sanusi and Wife Enterprise, just in the name of I can sit down at the corner of my house and write something to somebody in America or UK, and they can give me money, no trouble. So now we're having multiplicity of Bible agencies, those who have nothing to do with God's mission, all because of the pecuniary gain they will have from it, not about salvation or soul winning. I don't know about so many stories because I have so many stories that bothers me. But so that happened. So that's why there's a lot of scrutiny these days, leading to corporate environment of distrust and suspicion. Today, many people don't want to bear the name pastor again. They don't want to add the word pastor to their name. If I call me Samuel Sanusi and say I have PhD, because when you say I'm Reverend Doctor, they will look at you twice. So what are we going to do? So I'm serious. Many people don't want to bear the title pastor. Because when you say you're a pastor, they will look at you 3 times. But when you say I'm Samuel Sanusi, okay, what can we do together? So that when it's on business ground, if you deceive me, I can take you to court. When I say it's pastor, they say don't take your brother to court. Authentic leadership. So how do we get to the path of restoration? So evidence of major corporate corruption, including Enron. How many of you remember Enron in the early 2000s? And it just collapsed. It's an international multinational organization. It failed. And Ato Adansi was indicted. And these are great accounting firms that you can say yes. And the question is, in all these corporations, were there Christians there? Hello? Are they pagans? So, how about in politics and governance, as well as in church and religious organization? That's why I've told you those experiences. There is much debate in literature as to the causes of increased corruption. According to Suba 2015, identify reasons like personal greed, a decline in personal ethics, decreased sense of service, and cultural environment as possible reason for an increase in unethical behavior. Because of the widespread of ethical concern, organizations have shown a renewed interest in the concept of workplace spirituality for both the organization as well as the individual employee. Although spiritual leadership in secular research has increased in popularity, one criticism of this stream of literature is that there is lack of appropriate model for spiritual leadership, particularly as it pertains to Christianity and the teaching of Jesus Christ. Jesus was born over 2,000 years ago, and Christianity has remained one of the dominant religions. However, its application in modern business is relatively recent. So the question now is, why are we here? Why have you brought it together to say, remember my topic is restoration to the path of biblical leadership. How do we go back? I read a story to you in the morning. The man that had a vision, and he got something to have helped him to achieve his vision, but he lost it within 24 hours. If you hear these stories around us, we may be discouraged to say there is no hope. But I'm happy this day to bring before you this honorable gentleman. Their name may not be in the book of Guinness Book of Record or Nigerian Book of Record, but in the BSN and in the court of God, their names are written in gold. Because if not for people like them, me, I may not have found any BSN to work, and you will not be in BSN. Those of you who are working there now, and those of you who have heard about BSN, this sister was one of our, you are not in Abli. What's your name again? Muti at Stand Up. You see the way she was quoting Bible. She's one of the participants of NYC in Abuja. So if you see a picture of, if you see that, okay, you will see it again. So that's the lady that was dazzling her with. And I'm happy she has come all the way from Osun State to come and join this group. God bless. She just finished serving Nigeria. So she's aspiring to be. God will help you, official. So why are we here? The import of this session and why we are here as young and upcoming Christian leaders is for us to chart a way or ways forward towards the discovery of the road or path to restoration for biblical contemporary time. And so I have in this session we'll start this question, not by me presenting to you, but who is a Christian leader and where can we find them in today's Nigeria? Who is a Christian? Number two, can a Christian leader fail? Sure. Then leaders in the Bible that fail, do I need to identify them? There's no time. What lesson can we learn from identified Christian leader that failed in Bible time? Do you know any contemporary Christian leader that has failed? Now, what are the causes and remedies of their failure? And then, what are the ways or steps to restoration for a failed Christian leader? Plenty questions. So this will be part of your take-home, not just for today. As you go, before you come for the next session, we need to provide answer to these questions. Now, for your group discussion, because this is the last slide, you're going to take note of this one, and this one. Are you getting me? In your own way or your own view, how has Christianity affected ethical behavior in the workplace? So begin to take the picture now. When I say in the workplace, it could be in the church, it could be in secular organization like Bible Society, it could be in politics, but from our experience so far, in your own view, how has Christianity, even in our local government, in our homes, how has it affected us? And CDAs, yeah, community association. When they go you to be chairman of community CDA, and they put the money of the CDA into your hand, and it's a Christian or pastor. In fact, the story of BSA will not be completed if I didn't tell you this, that we have had bishops, reverend, the people that stole our money in BSM while we came up with the policy of cash and carry, are they pagans? The people that pirate our Bible, you are seeing one in your hand now, who are chief pirates in Nigeria, are they allergies? They are atheists. They are pastors. Bearing Samuel, Joshua, Isaac, Caleb. On the Bible, and they are selling stolen Bible, pirated Bible, in the name of. So you look at that. Now you go to the next one. Can our generation still produce authentic Christian leaders? So the question is how? The last one, do you have an example of a Christian leader you can emulate who has stood his or her ground against corruption, and what was the outcome? Are we ready? This is why we are here now. So we'll go back to our group and come back after 15 minutes. So one group, you take this one. Group 3 will take this one now. So group 2 will take this. Group 1 will take this. So we reverse it.
You understand the question?
You know your group now? Yes. You understand the question? When you come for the second one, I have plenty story. So that we'll not just be teaching ourselves theory. We'll be able to relate what we are teaching ourselves here to reality. And I have a longer story. If I just put it in my slide, I didn't put that one in the one I gave them there. But maybe they will get it later. But it's something that trended in the recent times. And I felt it's a practical example of how integrity pays. But before that, if you are group 3, you do this one. If you are group 2, you do this one. You are in group 1, you do this one. And our time is 12:40. We'll come back 12:55. Is that okay? Thank you very much. One question we should be addressing again is because we are running for time. Does corruption only has to do with giving of money? So there are so many aspects. I think that's why the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. There are so many. Corruption is seen almost in virtually every sphere of our life now. It's only when you give money. Even when you take what is not belonging to position that does not belong to you, so yeah, it's corruption. I was supposed to be here, but you say, no, I will use my power to unseat you. So something is motivating something anyway. So I hope in our session we'll be able to address so many things as we journey along. So I'll be rounding up everything soon, but let me hear you out first, so that later by 1:15 we must be at our dining, so that we can return later by 2 o'clock. So we'll round up the last session, which I have a long story to tell you. If I only read the story, then we'll discuss. So who will bet the cat? Group 1, 2, or 3? Group 2, are you ready? Okay, let's start from group 2. Who is your spokesperson? 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Our question is it still possible to produce authentic Christian leaders in this generation? And we concluded that yes, it is possible. However, there are things we need to note. Number one, you have to be the change you want to see. So if you say, we want change, that change must start with you. That's number one. Number two, you have to be intentional about your leadership. You have to be a purposeful leader. Why are you a leader? What do you want to achieve by being a leader? That's number two. Number three, you have to understand that leadership, particularly authentic leadership, comes with a price. If you look at the Lord Jesus Christ, it cost him his life. Look at Moses, it cost him his life rather. So one question you ask yourself is, are you willing to pay that price? Are you ready? Because it will cost you that price. We had a discussion in the group, and the conclusion was that Even though if you consider all of these challenges and say because of that you want to back down, understand that what we enjoy in the world today, the price was paid by some people. Like the issue of fake drugs in the markets. Look at Dora Kuni, she sets that pace. Although we still have it, but imagine if we didn't have people who fill in that gap. It would have been a total chaos. So you should understand that it comes at a price. And also you must have commitment to Christ, maturity, and willingness to serve. And finally, as an authentic leader or an aspiring authentic leader, you examine your weakness and turn them into strength. If not, people will use it against you. For example, maybe you have an uncontrolled appetite, or whatever weakness you have as a person, ensure you deal with that weakness first before you get to that leadership position. If not, it will be explored by the enemies and used against that person.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's an excellent one. That's group 2, right? Group 3. Group 3, pick your mic.
All right, thank you. Our question is, in your own view, how has Christianity affected ethical behaviors in the workplace? Now, this is a very big question. And we came to some reasonable conclusions. Sorry, don't mind my English, I'm a Yoruba boy. Yeah, and we started by saying, sir? We started by saying that for every workplace to be in existence, for every community to be in existence, it begins with one person. That you must first be a Christian before you go into the workplace. Before going to a workplace, you personally you must be a Christian. And we were able to break it down to ask ourselves, who is a Christian? A Christian is not a church goer. Mm-hmm. A Christian is not somebody who label him or herself as Christian. You know, today in Nigeria, if they give you a form to fill, they put it there, what religion do you practice? And the next thing you put there is, I'm a Christian. And the next time you see that young lady who is a Christian having an affair with the CEO of the company to climb the ladder. So, that's not a Christian anyway. So you must first be a Christian. And if you're a Christian, then you have all it takes to affect the work ethics in your office. So we now ask, has it been able to affect work ethical, behaviors? And we concluded by saying that, it has not taken much percentage of what we expect, but in few ways it has been able to affect some offices. You can see it very clear that Christianity is here. And the word Christianity is here, and some of us said true Christianity. And I said, what makes you a Christian makes you true.
2 seconds more.
Okay, all right, sir. So we now conclude by saying that you must be a Christian first, and 2, no one is ready to be labeled as Christian. That's the reason why it has not been able to affect workplace
all right,
ethics. And we lack Christians in the workplace. Christians,
thank you very much.
We lack them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, group 1, quickly. So it is not the crowd we have in the church that is the church, but those that are transformed. We'll get there again.
Good afternoon, everyone. So in our group 1, we're asked to answer the question, examples of Christian leaders you can emulate who have stood his or her ground against corruption, and what was the outcome. And the first person we mentioned was Dora Kuli, the former DG of NAFDAC before her passing. And we realized that all through her life and then while she served in that position, she stood against counterfeit medicines in medicine production in Nigeria. Even while she was actively battling uterine cancer till she passed away, she was always going for meetings and all of that to ensure that a stop or an end comes to counterfeit drug production in the country. The other person we mentioned in the group also was Dr. Christopher Kolade. He was a servant leader while he served at Cadbury as an MD and later on as chairman. And later on, he got appointed as Nigerian High Commissioner to Britain. And we saw that throughout his service, he exemplified integrity, which is key, and that was why he was even recommended for such sensitive position. And the last person we mentioned is Fela Durotoye. He's a contemporary leader. We know he even vied for presidency in the last election also, and we see that even though he was he's currently running a business a business in leadership, or how will I say, he's a business consultant and as well a leadership coach. He was asked to come and train certain number of Nigerians on leadership, and he proposed a bill of about 1.3 billion naira for the service, to render that service. And the organizers encouraged him to inflate that budget to a certain amount, about 2 billion or so. And he turned it down, that he could not do that. And we can see that with this, he is indeed standing his ground to show that he is a leader of the people and he is to be emulated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, thank God the way this is arranged. It means that leadership, to be an authentic leadership, you must be ready to sacrifice something. You must first of all be a Christian. In my part of Nigeria, they says, I cannot come and die. Cannot be vouching for his father's throne. I want to become president, but you're not ready to die for the truth, then you are not fit to be there. That's what that adage is saying. And with the example Group 1 has given, we see that even in this today Nigeria, we have seen leaders, as much as it's exposed to us that we know, we have seen leaders that can say, yes, I'm standing here. And I'm glad to also say that in the leadership of BSN of today, that is what has kept us. I was ruminating on one thing yesterday, and I said, okay, even in the UBS, they may say, this BSN, they don't need money. Because most times, we have some pledges on our platform. A lot of people see that just write a report and do anything. But you see that year in, year out, we have so many returns on claim. Why do you not claim them? The donor may be saying maybe they don't need that money. We need it, but we can't do more than what our ability can carry. Because if I change $1,000, if that guy at the back, Mr. Modi, is in charge of our end-to-end, and sometimes he will have spent like 15 million naira. And expecting that the 15 million naira should have claimed like at least $5,000. By the time he brings his 15 million naira and I'm claiming back on ISP, I'm only claiming maybe $2,000. I say, why should I spend so much money and claim so little in dollar? But if you don't want to be authentic, you're like, I beg, carry anything. Even in our tax payment to government of this country, that's one of the reasons we are at loggerhead with them. They keep coming because we say we will do what, whether you believe it or not, we will pay what we know to be the right tax to government. It's affecting the people. People say, our government we must pay because we are a Christian organization. The tax may not believe that we are paying. That's why they keep coming and saying, well, you people, you didn't pay this one. Maybe they expected us to say, okay, if your tax is 10 million, okay, we will give you 2 million. Oh, yeah, pay this one to us. But we say, no, if it is 10 million, we will pay the 10 million. And they were wondering, are they not in this country? Today we may not be valued. Today we may not be recognized. But the time will come, when the ships are there, they will say, go there. I also have an example. Pastor Victor is still here to tell us that there is, in this country, somebody once donated an amount of money for us to translate the Bible into 2 Nigerian languages. And he gave the money up front. And after a while, the man felt, I've lost the money again. The man was shocked when we went to him and presented to him the copy of the job I've done. And he was able to read and say, eh? And the man from his mouth said, I thought I've also lost this money. So there must still be a Christian organization in Nigeria, and there must still be a Christian in Nigeria. So the testimony of that man, tomorrow, even if I write him today, the man will reply, sign it by himself. That's because of what? Integrity. That there is still an organization in Nigeria that you can trust with money, and they will not disappear. So as we wrap up this session, the key learning point here is that God called leaders through history to restore the goodness of creation. That's why we're here. God has created the world is in chaos and all that, but God brought leaders to restore that goodness Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 31, behold, all that God has created, they are all good, they are all good. So if everything was good, what made it bad? Human being made it bad. God will still use human being to restore it. And that's why Jesus came. The thing is that human leadership competes with God's sovereignty by affirming its agency and autonomy. Why? Because human beings always want to flex muscle with God. Eh? But in the process of that, God, who is an all-knowing, will still raise up somebody somewhere to bring back order. And that person that God will bring, that God will use, like Dr. Joshua said, is among you. They didn't say amen. Because if it's today that you see, you don't know the tomorrow. And somehow God will work it, and you find yourself there. But when you find yourself there, like one of the groups said, you will be ready to say, if I die, let me die. But I'll die for truth. To stand for truth is painful. It's painful to us in BSN that we have to pay the kind of tax we are paying to government. But we don't have a choice. It's our civic obligation to pay that kind of tax. We could have choose to do what other people are doing, but we say, no, this is the right thing we should do. They keep coming. This one, no matter what you say you do, they will still say, what of this one, this one, this one. But if I've gone the other way, all the trouble they are giving us will not have gotten the trouble. But we choose to have that trouble because our name is important. And there must still be a Christian organization in Nigeria. Lastly, God redeemed the brokenness of human leadership by incorporating it into his plan for salvation. Human being has deviated from God. Human being have departed from the path of God. And that's why Jesus Christ came to do what? To restore humanity back to the path. And that's why I love one of the points you raised there, that for you to be an authentic leader, you must first of all be an authentic Christian. Who is an authentic Christian? Not a church goer. Not because my name is Samuel or Janet or Mary or whatever name, but in my character, in what I do, like the song they say, let others see Jesus in you. I pray this session will produce this thing in us. In the next year, we're going to come, we're going to look at the life of Christ and what Christ teaches us about authentic leader. Until then, Dr. Joshua, any comment?
We will go for lunch. I think it's important the restoration in our mind. Restoration is not easy, isn't it? When you have to make a very intentional decision that not to take bribe, not to give bribe, not to get corrupted. Because by taking money, it doesn't corrupt us behavior, it corrupts us mind. Because we have already decided. Somebody told me in Kenya, he was a very well-known person, and when we interviewed him, he told me, what makes you not to do this in spite of the difficulty that you have? Because he said, if you don't pay it, every time they come and find some fault. That's what they say, isn't it? That's exactly they do. They do work with as a mindset. But he has said very clearly, I have made a decision and I'm stuck to it. And I'm not going to change, irrespective of what difficulty, what reality, whatever consequences I face. I think that is the decision of the mind. And I think that is what is the call for today. If you want to be a leader, you have to make that decision. And that's the choice. That's the freedom to choose. And if you choose it, you try to become authentic. I think brilliantly done. And I think we should give an applause to Reverend Sam for doing that. And I hope, are there any questions that you like to ask in the morning? If you have any questions, just raise. We may not be able to answer, but we'll keep that in the mind to keep answering in today or tomorrow. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And also I'd like to say thank you to mentors and tutors who are there, and especially for their brilliant and wise contribution. Please give them an applause. And we in order to get such wisdom and such things, we have to pay a lot of money to their universities and go online. But they are here giving us free of cost. And I think
Free of charge.
I know that person there at the back. He goes and give consultation to people. Is in Netherlands or yes, in Europe and all. But he's sitting here observing and giving his valuable comments. Thank you, everybody. That's brilliant. So, yes, are there any questions?
Whatever question, just be writing them. If we cannot take them today, maybe in the process, there will be other time to do so. So, one of you should give us to bless our meal. Then we'll go to Adebakin Hall, the hall after the camp for our lunch. I'll be back by 2 o'clock.